4, 3, 2, 1.
Dolls and donuts, dolls and donuts. We are two dolls, we like animals. As a bonus, we eat donuts. Hello, and welcome to the Dolls and Donuts podcast, episode 6. It's been a super busy month with Vegan Prom and my trip to Hawaii. Today we're going to tell you all about our vegan adventures, what's going on in the animal rights community, and what's been happening in Robin's Vegan Dollhouse. But first we want to thank those who have rated and reviewed us lately. So the first, the only review that we have to read to you is a 5-star review from iTunes by JerBear5, who is my coworker, Jerry. Jerry, thanks for leaving the review. And she says, I love this podcast even though I'm not a vegan. Especially the Ask Ashley section, where I am reminded of how animals are really treated for consumption. I used to think that vegans just ate fruit, grains, and boring salads every day, and I didn't want to do that. But I've learned that eating vegan doesn't have to be boring, and there's a huge variety of vegan cultural foods that are delicious. The best thing about this podcast is that I don't feel pressured to becoming vegan. Well, then we're not doing our job, Robin, because everyone, all non-vegans listening, should feel pressured to become vegans. It's just, I also enjoy listening to what Robin has cooked and which vegan products she likes and uses. Keep up the good work, ladies. So, Thanks, Jerry, for leaving that great review.
Thanks, Jerry. And now it's time for Ask Ashley. So, Ashley, what's been going on with the animals?
So we have a lot to cover today. So I have 4 stories. The first one is that the Swiss government has announced that cosmetics tested on animals will be prohibited. And the way this kind of came about is that Switzerland is a big trade partner with the EU, the European Union, and they have the European Union has a lot of, I believe, just a complete ban on cosmetics tested on animals. So any cosmetics you buy in the EU aren't tested on animals. Oh. So obviously, if you're trading with them and you're part of that, even a small amount of that is cosmetics coming from your country, you want to be in line with their, if they have something banned, you don't want to try to sell it to them because they're not going to buy it. So it's, economy-wise, it's better to fall in line with those regulations. So they said that's kind of why that they've done this, and also that most of their companies, a lot of the cosmetic companies in their country have already went away from animal testing. So it's kind of just a natural progression to fall in line with a lot of the other countries in Europe that are banning animal testing for cosmetics. Also, household items, cleaning products, stuff like that. That's happening at the same time. So all those kind of really unjustifiable items that does not need animal testing. You could argue any that could not need animal testing, but nobody really would say, I really need my lipstick tested on an animal. So it's good that the Swiss government's stepping up, and hopefully these bans keep spreading. Next, we're going to talk about SeaWorld. A lot has happened with SeaWorld since we recorded last. The first of which, I don't know if I've mentioned it on the podcast, but SeaWorld has been suspected of this for a long time, and they finally admitted to it. So SeaWorld admits that employees have posed as animal rights activists. So months ago, maybe a year ago or more, PETA, I think it was at some parade, PETA was there because SeaWorld had a float. So several, not just PETA, but other organizations were there, and they jumped the little barrier, and they stood there with the signs, and they got arrested. And one of the protesters took a picture of everybody in the police van, and they're all smiling, because they're happy that they got, on TV and stuff like that. So everyone was arrested, and they, got processed or whatever, and they got released. So one, kind of the leader, was making sure that everyone got out. They were making sure, everyone's here, everyone's accounted for, everyone got out. And there was one guy that they couldn't find. And so they had all each other's phone numbers, of course, and she texted him, and he said, they let me out, I just went home. They had a picture of him. He was in the van when that picture was taken, and they found out that he worked in HR at SeaWorld. And they were suspicious that he wasn't released with everyone else because they all got released together. So they're sure that SeaWorld came and got him out, their employee that works in HR. That's why he wasn't with everyone else, because he had just texted back and said, I got out, and they thought that was very odd. So SeaWorld came, bailed him out, saved their employee, and then got him out of the situation.
Oh, yeah. This was on the podcast, I think.
Okay. So that's kind of the backstory. So it's been suspected that SeaWorld had been doing this for a while, even though when they were asked about, what do you have to say about this? Is this true? They just said, we're committed to, like, the security and safety of our parks, basically. That's all they would say. So they have now admitted that they did send employees into animal organizations, animal welfare rights organizations they've just sent them in there to be a little rat and take information back to SeaWorld. Probably, if they're planning protests or whatever they're trying to do, they wanted to know about all that. So now, for some reason, this has all kind of died down. I mean, this was a big conversation a while ago. They've decided to admit to it. But this kind of gets the whole ball rolling for all these different SeaWorld stories that came after. So maybe they're deciding, we're losing this fight. We might as well just come clean about a lot of things because it continues to happen throughout since the last time we recorded. So the next story is that Tilikum, who is the orca that's featured in Blackfish, who was involved in the deaths of 3 people, is very ill. So Tilikum is basically like the stud for SeaWorld. The majority of he's either fathered or like grandfathered the majority of the orcas at SeaWorld in like their parks because they ship his sperm around all over, and that's kind of like he's their stud. So he basically fathers a lot of the animals there, which is crazy because he is aggressive, and if you breed animals, you don't breed aggressive animals. Aggressiveness can be hereditary, right? So he's very ill. He has a bacterial infection in his lungs. SeaWorld's saying they don't think they can do anything for him because all the treatment they've tried is he's not being responsive to it. But then I've also read recently that he's improving now, that he's eating, but I don't know. We don't know what the truth is really, but he's got an infection and he may be dying, which is a big blow to SeaWorld, like I said, because he is the one that really is responsible for all like the animals there.
So he's the SeaWorld slut.
Yeah, basically. I mean, they masturbate him, take his sperm, and then they stick it in other orcas all over the country, world, perhaps. So this is not good for SeaWorld because he's the one that he can't be used for much else. I mean, he can't be used for the shows anymore. Not really. I mean, there are no trainers in the water anymore, but he's not very good for that in close contact with people from his history. And so that's what he's been doing. He's been fathering, pretty much all of the orcas at SeaWorld. So now that, their big stud could be dying, that's another nail in the coffin for SeaWorld. And the next story, I think, kind of like is a reflection of their kind of desperate situation with Tilikum and other things, is that they have finally announced that they're ending breeding at SeaWorld and they're going to end the theatrical shows, which, looking back now, I guess with all these stories kind of rolling out very close to each other, it makes sense that this was probably coming, but I never thought it would happen, really. Like, this is a huge win for animals in the entertainment industry with the Ringling, everything that happened with Ringling earlier this year, with elephants. I mean, these are 2 huge wins. So yeah, the SeaWorld CEO has said that they're stopping the breeding program, so there will be no more orcas at SeaWorld parks. They obviously can't take any from the wild, and they will stop breeding them. So, matter of maybe, I don't know how many babies they have right now, but there will be no more orcas in SeaWorld. And that's kind of the like David and Goliath thing. Like, if SeaWorld's gonna do it, hopefully like the Miami Sea Aquarium and all these other places that have orcas will follow suit. And they're gonna stop the ridiculous theatrical shows. But I think that I read that they're gonna phase them out by 2019. So what they're going to do is they're going to give a more natural viewing experience, or like how people can experience the orcas without the tricks and the shows. So I think they're going to like redo their whole like kind of holding areas and stuff to make it more natural, which should have been in the first place because it's a sterile environment that's not what the sea is like at all. Whatever that means, that's what they're going to work on before 2019 when they stop the shows. So, they knew they were fighting a losing battle, but I just assumed that they would just take their company, their animals, their employees down with them. I never thought that they would give in. but they have, and I'm shocked, but I'm happy. And unfortunately, they are kind of still slinging some mud, talking about, right before we recorded, I watched a new like TV spot on their Twitter about everyone just wants us to throw these, orcas into the ocean, and that would kill them, and look what happened with the Keiko. That was a failure, but we're going to do this for them. We're just going to stop breeding them, which, as long as they just do the right thing, I guess I could ignore all the other mudslinging, because Free Willy, Keiko, is who they're referring to, who was freed. He lived for quite a while on his own in the wild before he died. And I'm sure he would have rathered that than sitting in that horrible, horrible tank in, like, Mexico or something where he's from, and he was horribly sick. And no serious person's even talking about putting them out in the ocean. Like, just dumping them out in the ocean, and that's it. I mean, the sea pen is the most ideal situation for their longevity, but so they're not in a pool anymore. So, of course, they don't address any of that. It's these people want us to dump them in the ocean, but we're going to do this because, we've made them the beloved marine animal that they are. So I'm trying to stay positive because it's a huge deal, and it's great. So at the end of our lifetime, there will be no orcas at SeaWorld. I just hope that these changes continue, and the dolphins are not there as well, because the dolphins, they're suffering just as much as the orcas. So they've also partnered with the Humane Society of the United States to work on these issues, but also some smaller issues that probably people don't really think about, because it's all about the orcas and the live animal shows. But they're also working about, like, the food that they serve in the parks, that they're sustainably caught fish and all of that. So it's not part of the overfishing and everything. So there are other things that the Humane Society is working with them on to make other improvements. And then they said they're going to give a ton more money to rescuing animals from the wild, which is what they should just be doing. End of story, period. Rehabilitating animals and putting them in the wild, which they claim to do a lot of, but, it's a very small portion of the money they spend. So it's great news for orcas, and yay. I'm shocked. I'm still shocked that they folded. But they, so many people, high ups, have been leaving there. They've been abandoning ship for a long time. Hopefully they just find some other way to entertain people and educate them, if that's what they want to do, without causing harm to a lot of animals. So a lot of SeaWorld news, all good, well, except for poor Tilikum. Hopefully he recovers. So let's talk about some yummy vegan food. What's happening at the Dollhouse, Robin?
Alrighty, so one of the things that I tried for the first time is Lagusta's Luscious Chocolates.
That is quite a mouthful. Lagusta's Luscious Chocolates.
So they're a chocolate company, but they also make, I think, some pastries, maybe? Anyway, I've been following them on the internet and wanting to try it, but they're located in New York somewhere, or like north, maybe. So nowhere near California, basically. And so I've never gotten to try them, and they were amazing. They are super adorable. The packaging is super cute, and the flavors are exquisite. They made these, like, I think one of them had local pear. It tells you what's in each one, and it had, like, local pear. So they try to use local ingredients, and it just...
Are they just, like, barred...
no,
bar chocolate?
No,
dark
it's like a box of chocolates. I got this on Valentine's Day.
Oh, okay.
But they make them year-round, and yeah, I was just extremely impressed. So I highly recommend Lagusta's Luscious. Some of the things I've been making are, I made green bean casserole biscuits, which are not on the website yet, but if you're on Catch, you can watch me make them. Which is basically me trying to combine two of my favorite Thanksgiving dinner foods, which is green bean casserole and sweet potato biscuits.
Wow.
And so I made them
That's
together
a feat.
into like a little, it's really cute.
That's a feat.
I even put fried onions on top? Because you're supposed to put fried onions on top of your green bean casserole.
Yeah, that's true.
It's like a thing. I found organic ones, which was like super random.
And they were just already made?
Yeah, organic. I didn't have to fry them.
Oh.
Pre-fried onions, yeah. So that came out really good. I think if I try it again, though, I'm going to attempt to roll the biscuits thinner because I feel like the biscuit to casserole ratio is too high. Because I'm rolling
First world problems.
I know.
I
Life
tell
is so
ya.
hard. I have a lot of those.
Oh yeah, I do too. But I sometimes I catch myself. I'm like, what am I talking about? I have too many episodes of this show to watch. Oh, my life is so difficult. I can't read enough novels fast enough. Oh, my life. It's like, you have clean water. Shut up.
I do like clean water.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry for that tangent.
On Pi Day, did you celebrate Pi Day?
I didn't. I observed it, but I didn't really celebrate it.
Okay.
People brought in some pies at work, but of course I didn't even look at them because I knew they weren't vegan. But I enjoy Pi Day. I like the idea of it. I think it's cute and quirky and fun, but I didn't eat any pie.
Okay.
I just appreciated it.
Well, I don't even know if this counts as eating pie on Pi Day, but I made a quiche.
It's in a circle.
And it has a crest.
Yeah.
I
It's in the
totally
pie
felt
family.
like
It's
it
like a pie
counted.
cousin.
Okay,
For
good.
sure.
Okay,
Yeah.
good.
Quiche shouldn't be left out.
There were some
the Pi
mixed. There were some mixed communications on Instagram whether or not it counted, but
Do people care that much?
I think
They have some first world problems. They are gonna protest quiches should be just taken out of the Pi Day celebrations. That's messed up.
I definitely thought it counted. And I'm not really a crust fan, but I made the crust out of partially made it out of almond meal, which made it I feel like a little less crust like, and I was able to use up some of my almond meal. Ever since I started again making my own almond milk, I have all this almond meal that I have to use up. Otherwise, it goes in
And
the
that's
garbage.
just a little left. I've never made it, so that's just a leftover little.
Yeah,
whatever's
I
left over.
think people throw it in the compost. I'm assuming because
don't know.
I don't know what else you would do with it. So I don't think normally people try to keep it and use it. Because I even searched online ways to use up all of your almond meal, and no one really says anything. So I've been creating ways
That's
to
good.
use it up. Yeah.
That's a good thing. Not throwing it all away.
So the layered quiche I made was each layer was a different color because I used a different vegetable in it, so it looked really pretty.
A rainbow.
Yeah, it was like a rainbow quiche. Another thing I made was pizza muffins, and I used kohlrabi, and I actually didn't come up with this idea on my own. Somebody else was making kohlrabi pizza or ordered kohlrabi pizza.
What is that?
Kohlrabi is this vegetable that's, well, I guess it's not only purple. They have a light green one and a purple one, but who would get the light green one when you can get the purple one?
I know you're partial to purple. I do not share your enthusiasm, but yeah, I know you like it.
It looks like it could be like a UFO or a sea creature. So it's like a bulb,
Ooh.
and it has these 4 long stalks coming up from it, and then they turn into leaves.
Jeez.
It's
from another
really,
planet.
yeah, it looks crazy. And the leaves are edible, and the bulb itself, you can eat raw or cooked, but you have to peel it. So it's kind of like maybe a sort of labor-intensive vegetable, I feel like, because what you actually end up getting is a very small amount after you peel all the outside off. I really love it, though. It's totally worth it.
Closest I've gotten to a labor-intensive vegetable is butternut squash.
Oh my gosh, so labor-intensive.
Because trying to cut that,
Yes.
I'm gonna get arthritis.
Yes, and you have to take all the seeds and pulp out,
Yeah.
and trying to peel it, it's so hard to
It's
cut.
a pain. I did it
Yeah.
today before I came over because I was
yeah.
making a curry in the Crock-Pot, and I was like, ah, God, thank God I only needed 2.5 cups of it because then I just stopped.
How are you and your new Crock-Pot getting along?
It's a romance
Oh.
for sure.
Nice.
Behind my husband's back. We make out with it all the time. I've only made one thing in it so far, but I've made it several times.
Okay.
I've just made a coconut, butternut squash, coconut, chickpea curry.
That sounds delicious.
It's a mouthful. It is very good. So I'm a creature of habit. So I've just been making that. I'm gonna keep making it till I get sick of it.
I have a butternut squash risotto recipe that's a Crock-Pot one if you want it.
I need more Crock-Pot recipes because I feel like I found a few that I wanted to try something really simple, and that's why I started with this. And then it was really good. So I've just not, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah,
So I just
totally.
kept making this.
Yep.
But I do want to expand and try some more things because I'm like everything I've tried has turned out good so far. That one thing that
All one of them.
Yeah, I want to keep my streak going by just never making anything different.
When you were at prom, did you happen to take a look at some of the things that we were raffling?
I did, but it was kind of
Did you see the
dark.
Crock-Pot cookbook? There's a vegan
No,
Crock-Pot
there was
cookbook
so
out.
much.
Yeah.
It was hard to even like take it all in.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I feel like I probably looked at everything, but I didn't like compute everything.
Well, J.L. Fields came out with a cookbook recently that's a Crock-Pot vegan cookbook that you might want to look at.
I will. I definitely like the idea. I'm still scared about leaving it when I'm not at home.
Oh.
Like leaving it on its own. Like if nobody's home. Like right now, I'm at home, but Matt's home.
Well, if you do it once, then you won't be scared anymore.
I would be less. This is bad, but I would be less scared if we didn't have Penny. If my apartment just burns down, well,
I mean, you know that
whatever.
this is what this thing is made for.
I know.
Right? Okay.
I know. I'm just a nervous Nelly.
I
feel
mean,
like
I would be more nervous about something else, starting a fire.
Yeah.
Like, you live in a complex. It could be the person next door to you could
That's
start
very
the
true.
fire.
Very true.
I mean, the chances of that happening are way higher, I think.
Yeah, I think right now, well, I usually make it on a Sunday, and then it's enough for like 4 servings. So we have it twice during the week sometime, and I just put it in the fridge. So we never really eat it that night, so I can do it on a Sunday, and it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
Because it's already like made for the week. So I haven't had to leave it at home. I've been able to do it. I'm just doing other things at home on Sunday. But I'm going to have to just do it, and just like, everything's going to be fine. You know? But I need to find some more recipes for sure.
Yeah. I mean, I'm glad it's working out.
We're still together. So
So anyway, so that's what kohlrabi is. It's delicious. It's worth the effort. And the pizza muffins came out really good. It basically was my normal pizza recipe, except I put them in. I rolled the crust out and cut little circles and put it into cupcake pans.
what is kohlrabi? What is it kind of, is it likened to anything? Like, is there anything that it would like kind of be similar to that would be pizza topping?
No. But have you ever eaten the stalk for broccoli? Like the stem part?
Yeah.
That's kind of what it tastes like to me.
Okay.
Which is my favorite. I prefer the stalk over the flour.
I don't mind it, but I feel like it isn't a vibrant memory to me. Like, oh yeah, I remember that stalk taste. It just tastes like broccoli. I love broccoli, but I feel like the stalk hasn't.
Maybe that's
inspired
more
any
the
memory.
consistency and not the taste.
It's not a real strong taste to the stalk. I don't think.
Yeah, it's a mild taste for the kohlrabi too.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
I'll get you some.
Okay.
You can tell
I'll be
me.
like-
I'll ask you this question. I'll be like, if you
Take
had
a
to
little
compare
bite.
it to something.
I don't know. I don't know about this.
You'll love it. So the pizza muffins, the quiche, all of those things are on my Instagram if you want to see those, which is Vegan Dollhouse. And then I wanted to talk a little bit about an adventure I went on. Was it last weekend? No, it must have been 2 weekends ago. 2 weekends ago. No, last weekend. It was last weekend. God, how
Let's
does
just
that
pick
happen?
one. Let's just pick one and go with it.
Okay, so
They'll never know.
last weekend I went to Tahoe to go snowboarding. On the way back from Tahoe, there was an event at Animal Place. Have you been to Animal Place?
I've only been to Farm Sanctuary,
Okay.
so I want to go to all of the sanctuaries. Of course.
I haven't been to any of them. So I went to Animal Place. They were having a meet out event. And I met pigs and cows and donkeys. I didn't get to pet the donkeys. They were just hanging out by themselves.
Yeah.
And there were chickens, which I didn't pet them either. There were sheep, which I didn't pet, but there were goats, which I did.
Oh my god, I was attacked, not literally, by sheep, like at Farm Sanctuary. They
Really?
all want attention. There's like, touch me, pay attention to me. They were like butting each other out of the
so
way. Like I only have
cute.
2 hands.
Yeah.
The girl that was taking us around had 2 hands. May had 2, and there was like not enough to go around. They all like were pushing each other out of the way. They all wanted to be touched and like petted and scratched. Like they all like were like so loving and like so cute. But then I was like, don't push each other. I'll get to you all. Oh, this one hasn't had enough time. Oh. It was good. It was really cute. So. You should try again with the sheep.
Do they do sleepovers there?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if... See, I've only been to Orland, which is like the smallest, I believe. They don't do as much up there because it's so far out. But I don't know in Watkins Glen, I think they do a lot more like programming, like community stuff there. I've never heard of a sleepover, but that would be cool. I'd be into that. I know there's a lot of sanctuaries in California, but I don't know how many in New York. I just know Farm Sanctuary has a location in New York. I don't know of any other ones off the top of my head.
Is it called Farm Sanctuary, or is there another word in there somewhere?
No, like the Farm Sanctuary has one in Watkins Glen, and they have one in Orland, and they have one in LA.
Where's Watkins Glen?
In New York.
Oh, I
I
wonder
think it's like
maybe that
upstate,
is the one.
Upstate New York. I don't know. So yeah, so if Farm Sanctuary did do a sleepover, it would probably be at Watkins Glen because it's their like most popular, their biggest, their first location. So that's if they do it, that's probably where they do it.
Yeah,
so that's
probably
possible. I just don't know for sure. There's some sad things there, obviously. You hear about all their stories and stuff, but it's nice that they're they were rescued. So
yeah, there was a sheep with only 3 legs there. But I didn't ask.
I prefer animals with 3 legs. Like I would love to have a 3-legged animal. Like they're just special,
like you
and unique. I only have 2 legs.
But you're still special and unique.
Yeah, thanks.
So anyway, I had a great time at Animal Place, meeting all the animals, and then on the way back, I stopped at a place. So, we kind of like do the search in Yelp where you find out where the vegan food is near you, because the Meat Out event was supposed to have food. It was advertised as that they were serving food, but it was not. It was like a poorly organized event, or we got there late or whatever because there was no food. So we were like starving. And it's in the middle of nowhere. Like, it's so far.
Yeah, a lot of these places seem to be.
Yeah.
A lot of these places seem to be in the middle of nowhere.
I mean, that's where you get cheap land, which makes sense. So, on the way back, we stopped at this place that is all vegan, except for a couple items have honey. And they are a donut sundae place. So, it's a build your own. And you go down the line, and you can get a donut and put a soft serve on it, and then put all these toppings, like tons of toppings. It's just crazy. And
they need to move that down to the Bay.
So here's the thing.
'Cause I feel like it would just be like,
if it was in the Bay, I don't know if you or I would go there.
Why?
Because it is very, very healthy. Like, everything is gluten-free. A lot of things are sugar-free.
How can a donut sundae place be healthy?
Thank you. That is exactly
Isn't
what
that
I
like,
wondered.
what's the point of that?
Thank you.
Like, you go there because you know that a sundae and a donut, even separately, is pretty bad for you. And put together, pretty much give you a heart attack on the spot. So why make it healthy?
Thank you.
Okay.
So the donut itself was awful, kind of. This is coming from somebody who eats bad, though. Like, if I was on a sugar-free diet or a gluten-free diet or some other limiting diet, that probably would be great for me, right? But because I eat whatever I want, I eat sugar every day, then when I do taste something that doesn't have much sugar or has little to no sugar, like, for instance, chocolate mousse is made, the chocolate mousse that I put on was made with jicama and stevia. Not okay. That's not a good combination.
No. Okay.
No, it's really not. You can't really put stevia in things, I don't think, unless it's something that's tart enough or bitter enough to counterbalance the stevia aftertaste. Like, I can taste stevia in things. It tastes like an artificial sweetener. So if it's in lemonade, it's fine. If it's in grapefruit anything, it's fine. If it's in cranberry anything, it's fine. But if it's not in like a sour thing, then I feel like I can taste it.
Interesting. Yeah. I don't know if the gluten-free is something, it's a hit or miss for me, depending on what it is.
Yeah. But yeah, if you're a raw foodist, this is totally the place for you. Or if you like to eat mostly raw, like, I think Kimmy would like this place.
Yeah.
Because she eats really healthy already.
Yeah, I watch my sugar. Like, I'm not sugar-free by any stretch of the imagination, but I watch my sugar. Like, if I feel like something has too much sugar, that I won't eat it.
Yeah.
Because I just don't feel good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't feel good. And I don't want to get diabetes. Which is,
Weird.
going crazy. Most people just, spend their whole lives trying to get diabetes, it seems. But, so I do watch my sugar and stuff like that, but I don't watch gluten or anything like that. So I feel like I would be like, meh, half and half on that place if I tried it.
So if I went back, this is what I would do differently. Skip the donut. You want it because it's cute. It has a heart in the middle.
Oh, that's where they get you.
I know.
They're like, no one's not going to get this donut. There's a heart in the middle.
Yes, exactly. So I, of course, had to get the donut because it had a heart.
Shot.
I know. So I would skip the donut. I would go for the soft serve, but I would be very selective about the toppings.
Okay. Yeah, so you can still get stuff there. But you might not want to go the whole...
Yeah.
Not the whole enchilada.
Like they have the mini chocolate chips from Enjoy Life, which definitely have sugar, and I like them. So I would...
I have sugar, and I like it.
I would have gotten those. And they had toppings that were less healthy. I think you just have to, like, be careful and read everything. I mean, I skipped the whole crunchy bar. So they have, like, the sauces and then the wet toppings and then the crunchy bar. I skipped almost all the crunchy bar because it all looked like different kinds of, like, weird granola goji berry crap. And I was like, I don't want any of that.
Yeah.
I just got the chocolate chips from that section.
This is a really off-topic thing, but do you know if Captain Crunch is vegan?
I haven't ever seen any vegans eating it.
I don't know. I used to love Captain Crunch, and I just forgot all about it. I don't think I miss it, but...
But have you had the Panda Puffs?
No.
From EnviroKids? Those are similar, I think.
I feel like, are those more like a rice type of thing instead of like a Captain Crunch? Because I know on some like Crunch bars, like at like yogurt places, they'll have Captain Crunch as a topping. And that's why I thought about it.
You know, Captain Crunch used to hurt my mouth, so I was never
it rips you to shreds.
Oh,
but I still ate it, and I loved it. And
so you would still eat it. If it was vegan and there was some right here, you would be like, yes, I don't care if my mouth is going to hurt later, I'm going to eat this.
I'd be more, let's just say the hurting of the mouth would not be what would stop me from eating it. It might be because it's bad for you.
Right.
Wouldn't limit me. That's what would stop me.
Okay.
Oh, God, I'm going to get diabetes. Not, my mouth is bleeding from Captain Crunch. That I would just suffer through. Because I did like it. And like when they did like Oops All Berries. Do you remember that? Like they had the Captain Crunch with berries, and then it was like a mistake they made at the factory. Like it was like a whole, obviously they made it that way on purpose. But it was like Oops All Berries, and it was just the berries. I used to, like, God, just dye, literally like horrible like dye and sugar. Mm-hmm. That's like what I grew up on.
That's
anyway.
like Trix, just the berries, right?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Anyway, that sidetracked, but I just it took me back to my Captain Crunch days.
Okay, listeners, if you know if Captain Crunch is vegan, or if you know of a similar vegan version of Captain Crunch that you can recommend to Ashley, please
let me know.
You can email me at vegandollhouse@gmail.com. Well, we're on Twitter. You can also get a hold of us there.
Yeah, we'll give all the information at the end, so you can let me know if you know of a vegan Captain Crunch of any type. Yeah, so that's about it for me. That's all I've been doing besides being in bed with allergies, which is why my voice sounds like this. Yes, Robin's been a trooper today. With all of our technical difficulties in recording, she's like, I'm here, I'm recording. So let me hear about your adventure. I recently went to 2 trips to like 2 very, very top tourist destinations. Hawaii and Cleveland, Ohio. Those great destinations. I'm from Cleveland, so that's why I went there. So I went to Cleveland to visit family, and of course I wanted to do some research for the blog. Some hard research, getting all this food and eating it. It was very hard and, tiring, but I suffered through it so I could get it all on the blog for you guys, which it isn't up yet. I'm really, really lagging with the blog. Apologies. But they opened up a new, maybe, I had heard that it had opened maybe less than a year ago for sure. It's called Cleveland Vegan. It's an all-vegan restaurant in Lakewood, Ohio, which is a suburb of Cleveland. And so I was like, I gotta try this. 100% vegan? Like, I don't even think that, this must be the first that it's ever had. Mm-hmm. It's definitely the only one that's there right now, but I don't even think that, there may have been a few that have closed very quickly, but I wasn't living there at the time, so I couldn't tell you for sure. But anyway, I went to this place, and it's a really cool little spot. Like Lakewood, if you're visiting the Cleveland area and you're vegan, you can check out the blog, of course. But Lakewood, the neighborhood of Lakewood is very like hipster and cool, and that's where all the vegan places are, or like places that have vegan options. Lakewood is like the place to like hang out and go and eat and everything. So this Cleveland vegan place was really cool, and I kind of tricked everybody. Not really. I said, so Matt and I got to the airport, we rented a car, and I said, okay, we're going to be hungry getting off the plane. So we'll meet anybody that wants to see us. We can meet a Cleveland vegan. So in order to get to me, they had to eat a vegan meal. So we all went and got like a couple of my cousins and my aunts and stuff. We went and they really liked it. And I was like, you guys better come in here and keep this place open, because when I come back, it better be open or I'm going to hold you personally responsible because you haven't eaten here enough. So that was a really good place. I definitely recommend Cleveland Vegan. I'll have to think.
What'd you order?
So what I got at Cleveland Vegan, I got the mac and cheese, which is very good. And I'm kind of like a sucker for like vegan mac and cheese. I always have to try the vegan mac and cheese. Probably because I made a post a while ago about the top 5 vegan mac and cheeses that I have found when I travel on the blog. So I always feel like I need to like give this whatever place a fair shake and see if it makes it onto the top 5, because they like rotate as I try more mac and cheese.
Did it make it?
It may make. I have to think on it more, because I have to really think about the other ones, and I have to put some thought into it. I don't take this lightly, you know.
I
So
didn't expect you to take something this serious lately.
yeah, it's like the top 5 mac and cheese, top 5 vegan mac and cheese. This is serious business. So, and I love pierogies. And it's funny that out here, I will say something about, like on the West Coast, I will say something about pierogies.
Clueless corner.
Okay, well, you feel good, because you are not the only person on the West Coast that does not know what pierogies are. Because several people, just, random conversation, pierogies come up sometimes. And they're like, oh, what are those? I'm like, you don't know what pierogies are? Like,
I
love
have
pierogies.
never heard of this.
So pierogies are basically like, traditionally, the non-vegan version is like potatoes, kind of like mashed potatoes, kind of with like cheese, or sometimes there's different meats inside, and they're in like a little pocket, like the dough, and then they're like fried. And then you have them out, and you usually have sour cream, sauerkraut, or like maybe you'll have sausage with them or anything like that. It's a Polish dish. And I grew up eating them, and I always loved them. So they had pierogies, so just the potatoes inside, and then they had like the sauerkraut and the sour cream and all of that on top, like the vegan sour cream at this place at the Cleveland Vegan, and those were amazing. I love pierogies, and people need to get on it out here and find out what pierogies are, because it will improve their lives.
What if
they're so
we
good.
make them?
I'm sure you could. I mean, they're not complex.
Okay.
As long as you can, like, you don't even have to really fry them in a fryer, but you can just like put them in the pan and fry them like that. Like that would be fine probably. I've never made them, but they seem pretty simple. They're so good. And they did them great at that place. And Matt got the chicken and waffles, and he loved those too. I feel like for me, chicken and waffles, and for him too, they can be hit or miss, but they was definitely a hit there. And the other place I went to was, which is a big favorite in the greater Cleveland area, and now most of the Ohio, because it's spreading so quickly, is Melt Bar and Grilled. That's what it's called. It's a clever little name. It's a Muggle restaurant. It's all, I say gourmet, but it's not a fancy place, but it's it's gourmet grilled cheese. So they just, these monstrous, like, insane combinations and all these different just creations that start as a mac and cheese. Not mac and cheese. All these creations that start as a grilled cheese, and they just go crazy. So oddly enough, the one I get is called the Parmageddon, and it's a grilled cheese with pierogies in it. I just had pierogies all the time I was in Ohio.
Oh, weird.
I just go there, I'm like, I want pierogies.
Why are they so popular in Ohio?
I think because that area of the country has a huge Polish community, I think. Okay. My uncle is Polish, of Polish descent, and so he always made them growing up. So I always had them at my aunt's house. So I think maybe that's where I first got exposed to them, but they're very popular in that area of the country, and I think it's because they have a large Polish community. But you can, I think nearly half, more than half, like you can make them vegan. Like any of them, pretty much, you can make vegan. There's just, you have to look at, they've been on all the food shows, because it's just outrageous, the stuff they make. I mean, it's really a cool place. And you have to wait, even if you show up when they open, you have to wait 45 minutes.
I hate that.
But it is worth it. It's such a cool place. It's a cool, really, like, they're really proud of like Cleveland heritage. It's like Cleveland stuff all over it. They've I go to the first one in Lakewood again, of course, where everything is. And it's they were spreading all over Ohio, and I was like, well, I was telling the waitress, okay, I'm waiting for you guys to get to the West Coast because I really want melt more because it's so good. That's a great place, and it's a great place to take your family if they're not vegan, because then they can try it, they can see what a different side of vegan food, and everybody can eat what they want, really. So that's a good place. And there's only one other place I really want to mention, and it was called the Root Cafe, which is in Lakewood, where everything is, and is an all vegetarian cafe. So it's all vegetarian, but they had a lot of vegan options. It was a really cool, like, kind of coffee shop, like kind of like a bigger Timeless. That's what it reminded me of. It was kind of like Timeless. It had the feel of Timeless, but it had way more seating, which was nice. And they do brunch and everything. And I got a big calzone, like a spinach and like vegan cheese calzone or something like that. And it was freaking huge. It was so good. The bread was so good. Everything was really, really good. And of course they have like all their coffees and juices, and they have all kinds of stuff like that. And it seemed like a really cool place. Like if I lived here, I would hang out. I would hang out there. Like it was a really cool environment and atmosphere. So yeah, I was really excited because a lot of these, besides Melt, like these other two places weren't around last time I was there a couple years ago. So things are ramping up there. You know, places that are notoriously kind of like hard for vegans, I've noticed like they're getting better.
Nice.
So I'm really happy about that. I just hope that all the places I went to were busy, but I'm hoping all these places stay in business and they're doing well, and I'm excited to go there again next time. But the blog will be up at some point. It won't be up by the time this airs. If you're running to Cleveland, like to enjoy the rain and the cold, I'm sorry, you might just have to fend for yourself and listen to this. I've told you the places here, but you won't see all the pictures and get a more in-depth review. Sorry, you just have to fend for yourself for a little bit until I get back on track. And then I went to Hawaii. I'll just quickly talk about that. There's so much good vegan food in Hawaii. Woo!
What island?
Oh, I went to Oahu, and I'll start on the North Shore. We went to a place called the Beatbox Cafe.
I've been there.
Yeah, it was really good, and we got a beet, like a I can't remember the name of it. It will be on the blog, but it's a burger that was like beet based, and it had all kinds of good stuff on it, and it was amazing burger. It was so good.
It's the one that's in that health food store, right?
I think there's a health. It's connected to a health food store, but you like walk right off the street into the restaurant as well. I mean, you can probably walk through the store from a different entrance, but we walked right into the restaurant. And it was really, really good. Everything there that we had was good. We had avocado toast, which is a favorite of my husband's, and it was really good. And then we had like Peace Cafe.
Did you get the masubi?
Yeah. We went to like Peace Cafe. We got the vegan masubi from Down to Earth, the kind of Whole Foods type of place. And they have a deli and like a whole menu there, and everything that we ordered off of there was really, really good. All the sandwiches and the Reuben, and oh my God, I can't even. I'll spill my guts in the blog, but it was really, really good. I liked the masubi, but it wasn't like bowled over by it. I tried it once. I experienced it. It was good, but I didn't buy it again. Matt got like 2 more the time we were there.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
He was
that's
really
all
into
I
them.
eat when I go there.
Yeah.
How did you not like it?
I didn't not like it. I just didn't like it enough to get it again.
Wow.
Yeah, I tried it. I liked it. It just didn't wow me. But I had it. Matt really liked it. Went to, like I said, Peace Cafe, Downbeat Diner, which is a good recommendation from Robin. That place was awesome. I think we ate there 3 times.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
It was really good. We went for breakfast twice and then dinner one night. And by the 3rd time, the guy's like, "Are you guys back again?" He's like, because we kept getting a side of French toast as well to split. He's like, "No French toast today for dinner?" We're like, "Oh, no. Oh, God, do you remember our order?" It's always bad when people remember what you order. You're like, "Oh, God, I eat out too much." But there were so many good places. We also went to a place called Simple Joy, which is kind of like a Asian cuisine, but they also have like burgers and like random things as well. But that place was really good. We ate there twice because their pad thai was really good. And there was just a bunch of other places that we went, but those are the ones that stick out. And I'll give a big, huge review of all of these places in the blog when I get around to it. Because I've just been lazy, lazy, lazy. You guys are lucky that I'm sitting here right now. So, you're welcome. That's all I have to say about my travel so far. I don't know where we're going next. There will be travels to come for sure. Now we're very excited to share with you our interview with Carlo and Carmella of the food duo, and also the soon-to-be owners of V-Marks, the shop, a vegan shop that's opening up in Philadelphia. We want to thank them for hanging in there because we had some technical difficulties, and they were really good about waiting for us and giving us a good interview.
I guess I met you guys on Instagram, and then I met you in person for the first time before Vita Vegan Con. It must have been at the Expo West.
Yep.
So we've hung out a couple times in person. We talk on the internet, but really, I feel like I don't know anything about you guys. So I have no background on you. And so when I told Ashley that I wanted to interview you guys, I was like, well, actually, we could ask them anything.
Because it's all new.
It's all new. So one of the things that I've kind of always wondered about you guys is, did the food duo, because so many identities, or what do you call them? Aliases? What do you call internet handles?
Yeah. Handle, okay. Yeah. Any of those words work, I think.
Okay. So many handles that are related to vegan accounts have some word in them that is like vegan or veg or
related to plant-based or something. Yeah.
And because you guys don't have that in your name, it leads me to all these questions. Like, were you the food duo before you were vegan, for instance?
Yes, we were.
So, how we started, it was in our first year of marriage. So before we got married, I was part of a message board on the not.com, one of those wedding planning sites. Yeah. And when you get married, you move from the not to the nest. And on the nest, they had these cooking groups. And the one that I joined, pretty much everyone had a blog. And I'm like, I kind of want a blog. I don't know what this whole deal is about, but let me check it out. And it was pretty much, a newlywed wife showing what she made. And I'm like, we cook really good food together. So it would be kind of cool if we had a blog together. And at the time, Carla was vegetarian, but I was still a meat eater. Mm-hmm. So it just kind of evolved. And when we both went vegetarian and then we both went vegan, we never really thought about changing the name to say like the vegan duo. We just figured like food was food. So
plus people knew us as that too. Like they knew us as the food duo, so we figured why change it? We're kind of known for that. So,
I like it. I find it refreshing, which is weird.
Yeah, it doesn't always have to be dripping veganism, everything. Yeah.
So before I was Vegan Dollhouse, I was chocolate cupcakes, which I was happy with, but every single time I posted something, I would have questions. Is this vegan? Is this vegan? And I'm like, oh my gosh, right. I don't want to have to say the word vegan in every post. Gotcha. It's frustrating. Yeah. Like, if I'm vegan, just assume something I'm posting is vegan.
Yeah.
And so when I switched to Vegan Dollhouse, I was definitely cognizant of the fact that now people will not ask that because it's in my name. Do you guys get that at all? Like, are people ever like, is this vegan?
Not really.
Not too many people, no.
I think because we're so vocal about us being vegan.
Yeah.
We've already answered the question for them. And then of course with the fact that we don't have vegan in our name, we do note like the food that we make. Like if you see on our Instagram post, we're #vegan and any other vegan related hashtag that we use. And of course, like we describe ourselves, we mentioned that we're vegans with a cruelty-free blog just to kind of even add to that. So I don't think we really get a lot of questions because we put it out there ourselves.
Not too often. The only thing we'll occasionally get someone who's transitioning or is considering veganism, and they'll ask us advice. But that's about it. We don't really get that too much.
So I've seen you guys on Periscope a couple of times. It seems like you're constantly traveling. What is going on in your lives?
We do travel an awful lot, and that shows you the dedication we go through to get some good food. Well, part of that stems from like we live in a section of New York. We live in the Bronx, in the North Bronx, and unfortunately, there's not a heck of a lot of great vegan options around where we live. So we're kind of forced to have to travel a lot, even just into Manhattan or Brooklyn or sometimes Queens. But well, that's part of it. And also, we just, when we hear about places, we like to support them. We like to give it a try, especially if there's a good buzz. And if it's within driving distance, which it often is, we will hop in the car and go. And that's another thing. People, you know, a lot of people in New York do not have a car, but we do. So we have that luxury that we can actually hop in the car and even drive 2.5, 3 hours if we want to.
And then also our work too. So our jobs outside of the blog have us traveling outside of New York City. So, for instance, Carlo works in New Jersey, and even though New Jersey's like 15 minutes away from our home, if there's something happening in New Jersey, we're willing to go check it out after Carlo's work. And right now I work about 25 minutes outside of New York City in Westchester County. So if there's anything happening north of the city, Carlo might meet me after work and we'll go and check it out. On the weekends, it's whatever is happening. We are moving to Philadelphia, so we do go down there a lot. And, Wilmington, Delaware is not far from there. We may extend it an extra hour to hit up Baltimore, maybe a little further to go to D.C. And that's the plus of us having a car. But we also have somewhat flexible schedules. So if there's an event happening, out west, and we can make it happen, we'll try to be there.
Yeah, my boss is pretty flexible, and Carmella's job sometimes allows her to work remotely, so that gives us a little freedom. It's just a matter of the finances, of course, to travel. But we just really enjoy traveling in general, and we like traveling to like vegan events because it's just fun to meet up with friends and to meet new people and to be around that many vegans in one event. It's great. We love it. Like you can just be yourself and have a blast, and everyone talks about, oh, have you tried this? Have you tried that? Or just check in with people we haven't seen in a while, see how their friends are doing, how their family's doing. And we just love that. We really love traveling. It's like our favorite thing.
Yeah, I think a lot of vegans, like I am the same way. My husband and I are both vegan, and we both travel a lot. And it's not always with other vegans or two other vegans or vegan events, but sometimes you feel like you're the vegan in the room, or the vegan at a company, and like, you're that person. So when you can get together with a bunch of vegans, it's like, oh, everybody gets me here, Yeah. So it's nice, yeah.
Yeah, agreed. So Philly, I love.
Never been.
What is the name of that grind?
Grindcore. Love Grindcore.
That place is so amazing.
Always hit that. Almost 99% of the time we go to Philly, we have to hit up Grindcore because we often will go and like sometimes we'll just do a day trip and we'll go in early in the morning so we can get to Grindcore around 8:39, and I have my bagel. Has our bagel. We have our coffee. We sit there for a couple hours. Love that place.
They have Dottie's Doughnuts.
Yeah.
Oh,
they
that's
have
awesome.
Scream cheese, which is, have you ever had it? It's their cream cheese that has ghost pepper in it. It's great. I love Grindcore.
Ghost pepper is
no.
hot.
I definitely have not had that because I'm the biggest spice wuss on the planet.
Well, my husband actually likes spicy food, and we got some ghost pepper chips, and he was like, oh, I can't. We had to get rid of them.
Are that the Pocky tortilla chips?
I don't know. I can't remember. They were in a black bag. Like black. It was like very scary, ominous bag.
Pocky. Yeah, Carlo just did a challenge with them at Expo West. Yeah.
Yeah, those are the Pocky chips. They are. I have to say they are, and I could tolerate heat. They are very spicy. They are definitely chip wise, probably about the spiciest chip I've ever had. They're very tasty. I love that, and they're working on one that's going to be even hotter. The gentleman who was at Expo told me, he's like, oh, you haven't seen nothing yet. Wait till next year. We're going to have an even hotter one. I'm like, oh boy, I'm excited.
Oh my gosh.
But you won that competition.
I did. I won a sticker and bragging rights. That's all I got.
No, and a T-shirt.
Well, yeah, the T-shirt, and of course they gave me a couple extra free bags. But
If you're doing it for food, then it's worth it, yeah.
And then a woman challenged him right afterwards.
Yes.
Like not even a minute after he won, and they ended up tying.
and then I tied her, so she gave out after 7 chips. I had another 7, and then that was it. It was a draw. She held her own though. She definitely held her own.
Yeah, that's how hot they are. It's like a handful is a challenge of these things. Like, they're very hot.
Oh yeah, so moving to Philly. So I definitely have no questions as to why you would want to move there because it seems awesome. And I think Philly's a dog city. I kind of do this thing every time I travel. I try to determine if the city is a dog city or a cat city.
Oh, I've never even considered that.
Yeah, San Francisco's a cat city.
This is going to add a whole new layer to my travels now. Good job, Robin.
And I like that Philly's a dog city. So is that why you guys are moving there?
We'd like to have a dog.
We would like to have one. I've never thought about whether it's a dog or a cat city. However, I guess we're more cat people, and a lot of New Yorkers are because we generally have small apartments, and cats are better suited for that. However, we've talked about it that if we get a bigger place, which we most likely will, we will probably get a dog because we do like dogs an awful lot too.
But part of the reason why we're moving, we love Philly. We're there at least every other week.
Yeah.
And the vegan scene and the vegan community down there are great, but we just love the city as it is.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of those cities that isn't one city that's trying to put on airs with the public. It is what it is, and you take it for what it is. And the people there are like, take us as we are. You're not here to try to change us. And I think that's something that we really like.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, it's not as crazy as New York, so that's the added plus of it. And we figured it's like the best place for us to start our own business. So we've launched, but we are hoping to open a brick and mortar location for our vegan convenience store called V Marks the Shop. And with that, we're building a store that has a mission that's built on compassion, community, and convenience. All those things that we think Philly offers, but to bring in this vegan twist to it, I think is something that is different. To show that veganism is accessible to everyone. So it doesn't matter what income bracket you are, what culture you come from. It's really something that's for everyone. And I think Philly has the diversity and the openness for that kind of business to thrive.
Nice. I think so too. So does this mean it's going to replace your current day jobs?
Yeah, probably.
For myself, for sure.
For Carlo, definitely. For me, it would be more a longer transition.
Yeah.
But that's just because of the flexibility of the work that I guess more than what I do because I'm in the tech space, and I kind of like being in the tech space. So it would just be a little longer for me, but I can do both.
Yeah. My current job won't allow for me to work remotely, so I can't. I would have to kind of make a clean break, or at least what I was thinking of possibly just getting a job, either part-time or full-time down there while we're getting the store going, just so I have some extra income coming in. But yeah, I'd like to make a clean break so I could really concentrate on it. That would be ideal.
Nice. And so I assume you guys have probably been to almost all of the vegan stores in the United States. How do you think that this one will differ or be similar to some of the other ones?
I think we'll be similar in the fact of, not just product. There's not that many, 100% vegan
What, 10?
retail stores.
About 10 or 11, I think.
Yeah, if you look at it, maybe somewhere between 10 to 20 across the board. But in terms of like a vegan convenience store, it's like 10. There's not a lot. So, I think a lot of us would be working together,
Mm-hmm.
And supporting each other. So I think that's great. And we, selling similar products, but also being able to differentiate with local.
Yeah.
And it's how we connect with the local community. I think what'll set us apart is the fact that we're a vegan business, but we're looking not just to point our business to vegans only. We wanted to have the store to actually be a resource for people that are interested in veganism or just plant-based eating. We really would love it to be like a community space. So, so you come do your shopping, but yeah, this is it becomes a meeting spot for people. So John around the corner, he's not vegan, he's interested. He can come by the store and maybe he's wanting to check out like some almond milk. He hasn't had it, he wants to get it.
Right.
And he can go there and maybe his friend from across the street will happen to be shopping there who's vegan, and they can go and have a conversation.
Plus, we'd like to have some events there as well. I mean, we're not sure, the exact location or anything like that. We haven't gotten that far along yet, although we have some neighborhoods picked out. Even if we don't get a huge place out of the gate, eventually we'd like to get a larger space just for events alone. Like besides having a shop, we would like to have like fashion show, book signings. People want to do meetups, screenings. We really like people to like feel comfortable to go in there, and even curious people. Like we definitely want to reach out to non-vegans, like Carmella said, and we want them to feel comfortable coming in. We don't want people to be like, oh, this is a vegan store. We want people to come in. Oh, here's a convenience store that happens to be vegan. We really, it's very important to us that we get the non-vegans, because we really, really, really want to reach out to them. That's very important.
Yeah, the key thing for us is that we're saying that it's a vegan store for everyone.
Right, it's for everybody.
It's people that are interested. We're not coming and say you have to be vegan to shop here. And we certainly are looking at our price point, being very careful about it, because a lot of people have this assumption that veganism is an expensive way of life. And it's not.
It's not
at
all.
And it certainly doesn't have to be. And we want to provide, quality products that people can truly afford.
Yeah.
Because we can afford it doesn't mean that spending $10 on a frozen pizza is good.
Right.
Whereas the non-vegan version is like $4.
That's not logical to me.
Yeah.
There's a lot behind it, obviously.
Exactly. Like we ran into a situation with the new Ben & Jerry's ice cream at a local major supermarket chain. The non-dairy is not on sale, and they're charging almost $6 a pint, whereas the dairy version is on sale for under $3.
Right, and I'm happy they're carrying it. That's great, but unless they're going to have a sale coming up soon that's just for the non-dairy, they got to kind of come up to speed. I know it's a new product, and I don't know the reasoning behind it, but I would like it to be on sale, because I'd buy a bunch of them, because if you've tried it, it's quite good.
But even the people that are interested
right.
in trying this vegan ice cream from a brand that they love, they may be turned off by the price point.
Yeah, they that's very possible, because it's Ben & Jerry's is it's an expensive brand. It's not cheap.
Yeah, and like you said, if you're curious and you like, oh, I don't know if I'm going to like this or not. Do I really want to possibly throw $6 down the drain on this thing? If I don't know if I'm going to like it or not, you're probably not going to take the risk. And that's not what we want.
It's under $3. They might even just buy two. Hey, let me try 2 flavors. Let me see. I'll get 2 for 1, basically. But yeah.
I think that's the key thing for us is, we're also being very particular what we carry. Of course, they're going to be the staples that people know, but we're trying to be very careful with what we bring in. Like, these are products that we know, that we've tried. Like, we're not just there to make a buck. Of course, we want this to be our livelihood.
Right.
I think we, just to maintain our own integrity, we want to be very careful in what we bring in, and not just because, it's popular.
Right.
If the community around us can't afford to buy it, I don't want it in the store.
Right. Plus, we want to surprise people too. We don't want everyone to go in, okay, they have the same stuff. They've got, the Earth Balance thing in Guardian, and there's nothing wrong with those, and we will carry those. But I'd like them to find something like, oh, what's this? Oh, I've never seen this before. This is a local product, or this is a brand I'm not familiar with. I'd like to try this. I'd like people to be surprised, and always have a surprise around the corner.
Yeah, totally. Those are really good points.
Yeah, speaking of which, are there any products that are maybe a little less well known that you're excited about carrying?
Yeah, well, just like honey is one that we really, really like. It's not as popular as like Bee Free. It's by a company called Suzanne Specialties. That's a real good one. If anyone's ever tried it, it's very, very good.
You might be familiar with their rice mellow.
Right.
So that's like the vegan marshmallow fluff. They're actually local to us. They are based in New Brunswick, New Jersey. So we actually can go down and pick up product to sell in the store, which I
Right.
think is pretty cool.
We also sell we sell a jerky that's actually made by soy curls. A lot of people don't realize it's made by soy curls, and Butler makes it, and it's very good.
Yeah,
It's
Sam's
called
Harvest.
Sam's Harvest number 19, and it's you wouldn't know it by just looking at the package that it's soy curls, but it is. It's made from those, and it's really good. And when we tell people, they're like, "Oh, wow!" And that's also a good selling point because they say, "Hey, I can make my own jerky with soy curls. This is how." Flexible soy curls are. So that's another product. I'd say Sam's Harvest.
And I think like just two more because one is local and it's only when we do pop-ups right now
Yeah.
is Miss Rachel's Pantry's pub cheese and cream cheese. Those
Dynamite.
are amazing. They're cashew based. So good. I love Miyoko's, and that's one of my favorites. But what Rachel's got going on,
It's right up there.
It's right up there.
Yeah.
And I think, and the other product company is Hanley's Foods. They're based down in Louisiana. I think right outside of Baton Rouge, if I remember correctly. They do a line of shelf-stable salad dressings. All but one of their dressings are vegan. And their Creole Ranch and their Standard Ranch both are my favorites.
They're real good.
They have a strawberry vinaigrette that's really good and an avocado vinaigrette.
Ooh, I'm excited about that because I have a hard time with salad dressings, like finding a vegan one that I really like.
Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah.
Yeah, salad dressings are hard for me too.
It's one of those things, but this might be the answer.
Yeah, and since we just came back from Expo West, there's definitely some new products that we're going to be carrying that we're in the process of sourcing right now. We have a pop-up in New York City happening on April 10th, so we'll have some new products that we'll probably be announcing towards the end of this week.
Yeah.
Cool, nice. How often do you do these pop-up events?
Right now we've got one happening every other month that we're doing with V-Spot. We actually are going to be launching a pop-up market in Philadelphia, all vegan pop-up market. It's called Philly Vegan Pop Flea. That'll be launching Sunday, June 26th. So, of course, V Marks the Shop will be there, but we're going to be having some local Philadelphians with their businesses, not just food. We're going to have some artists there. Hopefully get some entertainment going, so it should be a lot of fun.
So that our listeners can get in touch with you, where can they find you on the internet?
Oh, well, you can check us out on our blog at thefoodduo.com. On social media, we're The Food Duo across Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Pinterest. You also can follow us via V Marks the Shop. So it's vmarkstheshop.com.
The letter V.
The letter V, Marks the Shop. And we are V Marks the Shop, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Awesome.
And those are obviously the best ways for people to find out like when the shop's actually going to be opening, right?
Exactly. Yep. You will be posting events. In fact, we have an event coming up on May 1st in Philadelphia called the Philly Macdown, which is a vegan mac and cheese competition that we're hosting. And the grand prize winner gets the Golden Elbows trophy, which
the Golden Elbows
has just been completed and we have to pick up.
It's just been cast, so we have to get that bad boy this weekend.
We have a gift basket with some great goodies from a number of our sponsors, and there might be a couple of extra goodies thrown in as well.
Nice. That sounds awesome. Well, thanks so much for being on the show. We really appreciate it.
Thank you for having us.
So that's the end of our 6th episode. If you're listening to us on YouTube, you can leave a comment. And if you're listening on iTunes, you can rate us 5 stars, which helps the podcast rank higher in searches. which gets more listeners, which maybe makes more vegans. If you're listening for the first time, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any future episodes. We also noticed there's a weird glitch on iTunes where if you're not subscribed, you might not know how many episodes we really have.
Yeah, we're gonna keep an eye on that. So if you're not subscribed, you probably aren't even hearing this right now.
Yeah, maybe.
I've kind of looked into it, and it's something that from what I've researched, is that iTunes just has to sort itself out. So right now it shows that we only have 4 episodes. The 5th one isn't showing up on iTunes. But if you're subscribed, you are getting all the episodes, so don't worry about that. So if you're getting this, you've gotten everything else. You didn't miss anything. So.
And Ashley, if listeners want to find you on the internet, where do they look?
You can find me at my blog, theveganadventure.com. That has all the links to all the social media. And that's where you can get a hold of me and tell me about the vegan Captain Crunch that you discovered and you want to share. The upcoming blog post will be on Cleveland, Ohio, and Oahu and Hawaii. Coming soon. I'm not gonna give myself another deadline like I did last time, because that killed me. So yeah, that's where you can find me. How about you, Robin?
I'm at vegandollhouse.com, and I'm Vegan Dollhouse on Twitter, Instagram, Periscope, Catch, and I just started using Snapchat.
Oh boy, another platform for you
So
to grace.
You can try to find me on Snapchat. I don't know how to add people. But I do know how to post things on my board, and I know how to send things to people now. So also, if you want to support a really fun event, well, actually, I don't know that it's going to be fun, but I'm hoping that it'll be fun.
If you want to support a really horrid, boring event.
If you want to support an event for a good cause. So we were talking about Animal Place earlier, which was one of the sanctuaries, right? Animal Place owns Republica V, which is now called Vegan Republic, I believe, which is the local vegan store. And they're doing community events now.
In Berkeley.
It's in Berkeley. So if you're local, come out on April 15, I believe, for a record store day event that I will be at, and I will be bringing treats. And
Are they going to have records?
they might. Don't ruin the surprise.
Well, naturally, I would be like, why would they be doing a record store day? They don't sell records.
There's going to be a DJ. I think they normally have bloggers come on and do food demos, but I suggested instead that I bring something already made and I bring a zine to tell people how to do it. So you can come and taste something that I make and get a zine to know how to make it yourself and just hang out. I think it's more going to be hanging out.
That's fun. Yeah.
Anyway, record store day event at Republica V. Come on out.
Be there, be square, or be me, because I might not be there either. I
Did you just call yourself square?
Well, you can be there, be square, or be me. Mm-hmm. You have 3 options.
I mean, it's obvious everyone's going to want to be you now. When you give them that option,
but then
now they're not going to come.
Oh, don't do that.
Thanks,
Everybody
Ashley,
go.
Thanks.
Everybody go. I'm going to try my best. Hopefully I can. But it's just so far away. It's not that far away, but it's with the traffic. What I mean? You drive 2.5 hours or 2 hours or whatever, and then you'll get there. It's it's over.
Basically, if you're already in San Francisco or in the East Bay, you should come. But if you're in the South Bay or the Peninsula, maybe don't come.
Don't come.
If it's too hard for you, don't come. Being in traffic isn't fun for anyone.
No.
All right.
Okay. Well, that's our episode. Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
Dolls and Toads.